Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my developer vlog series, where today we're going to be having a look at all the progress I've made the past 2 weeks on StrateZ. And I'm pretty pleased with how everything has gone. Now, there was one period of about a day and a half or so that I ran into some issues that sort of held me back a little, but overall I was able to complete everything I wanted to in this past fortnight. And that, of course, was to finish up the next 2 missions in the survivor portion of the campaign, where we now have a new world and we move. Now, the maps are made and the missions are there in kind of a rough state. Like I said, I did have like a day and a half of time that was, well, trying to fix an issue that kind of broke half of my maps. I'll not go into the details here, but just half of them weren't working anymore for reasons. I still don't quite know why, but I fixed it somehow, so yay. But, yeah, so New World, the basic premise of this map is after shipwreck, once you've gotten over the river, you find yourself on the outskirts of a city, and that the only way for you to escape is gonna be to go through the city. And so you have to fight the zombies that are in your way to get into the city, as well as gather up supplies for your journey. Now, we move is once you've gotten into the city, and here, this one's really the mission that is kind of only half done. I mean, it's there in its entirety, but there's some bits I still want to add into it. For instance, this is the point in the campaign for the survivors that I want the survivors to find out that there is a safe place they can go to. The first 2 missions were really, oh god, we've shipwrecked, we just gotta get out of here. This one, I want it to be, hey, we've picked up like a radio signal or something about a safe zone that we need to make it to. But I don't have that aspect in here yet. Right now, it's just currently pretty much a copy of this mission, where it's escape through the city, gather supplies, kill the zombies. Now, like I said, hopefully I will add in that, like, radio bit or something there. I just gotta figure out how I want to do it exactly, but that's sort of the plan for that. And if we actually close out here and take a closer look at the maps, here is, of course, a new world, where we have over on that side of the map, you know, the final end bit of the previous map, leading into the outskirts of the city, where we've got a motel here just over the river, we've got a power station over here, and then sort of like a small suburban area on the outside of town, but that has been kind of militarized because, you know, zombie hordes. And also the hospital area over here has been turned into a quarantine zone from where, or rather when everything started. And you see a bit of the city over here, including the main hospital. This is sort of like the annex building on the outside. And yeah, I really like how this has turned out. And let's take a closer look at all the parts of the world. So we do have, let's start with, there it is, the hotel over there. Now, this is, of course, where the survivors are going to be starting up. They've set up their base of operations here in the hotel. You're going to start up with 2 workers and 3 militiamen to go and do your thing. Now, the big part of this mission is finding the supply crates scattered around the map, as you got to gather up supplies before moving on. And you can find those supplies, first off, over here. We've got some supplies at an old small power station that an encampment was built up after the zombie apocalypse began. And so we've got that there where one of the supplies are. There's also like the housing suburban area where there are also some supplies, but mostly just a lot of wrecked houses and zombies, of course, with a lovely churchyard there with some graves that have popped open because, you know, zombie apocalypse, of course, there has to be something like that. We then also have the military camp where, whoops, I accidentally, oh yeah, I included that helicopter that was crashed there as a part of the military camp. Probably shouldn't have, just so that I can zoom in on this area better. But yeah, the military camp is where most of the supplies are. We've got 4 in here, and you need 5 to sort of complete the mission. So if you hit up the power station and then this, you're good, but there are also a few others scattered around the map, including in the main town area here, which, oh boy, I accidentally included that house in the housing area as a part of the town. I should fix that. There is also some other supplies over here by the police station, where, of course, just everything's sort of wrecked and ruined. We've got a little park there, just some businesses, and then moving on over to the quarantine zone here, where, like I said, you're at the sort of back annex buildings of a hospital where they've set up a quarantine zone, and that is where the zombies are on this particular map and where they will spread out from to try and murder you, because they're zombies and that's what they do. Good times. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty pleased with how this whole thing has turned out. Now, as for the actual where you gotta move from in this, we're of course starting up there, you're going down here to destroy the zombies, and then you'll pop out in the next map down here by the main hospital. So if we actually go and load up, we move. There we are. Got our large city area in here where, of course, if we open up the world, we start with the downtown area, sort of the main chunk of everything, where we do have the Survivor Encampment here, as mentioned. And one of the things I actually like about the Survivor Encampment that I decided to do design-wise on this is when you're on the other map, you actually see, like, trees over here. But if we actually zoom into it, you can see they've chopped down the trees to make way for their command post and a little bit of extra room for more buildings. And, yeah, I like that there, too. Now, we've got some more supplies scattered around the map for you to get, because, hey, you're survivors. I want you to be scavenging for stuff. So we do have these scattered around the map as well, and they are going to be a part of the whole mission for this. But yeah, overall, it's just a large city map, very similar to the one that we have in the little city map in the just normal single player, where we've got just destroyed buildings everywhere. We've got the back of the police station here with some supplies you can go and grab. We've got a large park sort of torn up. We've got the town hall where a sort of final stand was tried to be had but failed. And loads more buildings in various states of destruction and decay. Moving on over here, where you can't get up here, but I liked adding in just this little weird feature of an old abandoned encampment on the top of the highway here. Just one of those fun little touches in the map that I had a lot of fun making, but bears no, or rather has no bearing whatsoever on what you're doing. We also have a, little fishing spot there. Then, of course, down here is where the zombies are in sort of the outskirts of the city over here. They're sort of jammed into the back of this alley. On the other side we have like a area they tried to contain the infection in, but it didn't work. Now, I didn't really end up putting a lot of ground here because it's behind this wall, so you can not really see back there. But yeah, the idea is they sort of broke through, set up in this alleyway, and then, you gotta fight your way through. And there are, of course, also loads of the just mindless shamblers around that you're gonna have to deal with as well. And once you do destroy the zombie body pile here, you escape on to the next map, which is gonna be like a suburban area / starting to get into the sticks kind of map, where you have to fight your way through to make it to the countryside, which is where that safe zone is gonna be. And those are gonna be the final 2 missions of the Survivor campaign. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this all did turn out. I always like making these city maps because, you just get all these fun little places you can put stuff and have little alleyways, etc. around the buildings. I have a lot of fun playing around and designing these. And yeah, we're kind of moving along pretty nicely here. I'm very pleased with the current progress. Now, there's still a lot to go before the final release of the game, but we're getting there. We're almost done with the Survivor portion of the campaign. There are still some single-player maps I want to make. Because if you guys remember in the zombie campaign, there's a couple of maps in here, Consume and Exodus, that were by far my favorite of the zombie maps. And I want to take those and apocalyptify them, because they're clean maps of, you know, the pre-apocalypse world. And I want to take those maps and turn them into the hellish post-apocalyptic landscape and make those single-player maps free to play on, like with the other just generic single-player maps we have, as some extra things there. I only want to do these two, though, because these are the two that could most easily be turned into a normal map. None of them, of course, have, like, the proper two factions facing off against one another. It's you and then a lot of kind of dumb AI that I made. But these two have the map space to really make it so you could have, like, survivors on one end, zombies on the other. And so I can't wait to mess around with those. But that's still a fair way away from when I'm going to get to working on that. Because, of course, we've got the supplies mission to work on and Sanctuary. I may change the name of this one. I don't know. Haven't decided. But yes, these are going to, of course, be the next two missions I'll be working on over the course of the next 2 weeks. And I am very pleased with how everything has gone. Can't wait to see what you guys think of these maps, because, of course, as usual, the download for this new version of the game is in the description, so you guys can go check it out, tell me what you think, and give me your opinions. I'd love to hear them. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this episode today. Hopefully you all have enjoyed, and you do come back for the next when hopefully we do have these two completed. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.